Greetings, gentlemen. What is a film? Well, in Repligator's case, it's a miserable pile of cinematic memes waiting to happen.
Where to start with this film? Probably at the start. It's 1997 and director Brett McCormick has come in under time and under budget on his film Time Tracers, and so decided to use the remaining film stock, sets and monster costumes to make a film about Horny Alligator Woman. The script was written in 4 days, and when one of the lead actors didn't turn up on the first day of shooting, screenwriter Keith Jorns took the role rather than delay production. Most of the other roles were filled by random cast and crew from Time Tracers. All 66 minutes of the main shoot were completed in another 4 days. But 66 minutes wasn't quite long enough to release as a feature film, so a year later, on some much worse equipment, some bookends were filmed with Gunnar Hansen. So, what is a film? Well, in this case, it's much more memorable than Time Tracers, which vanished for decades, was eventually re-released as Time Trap, and almost no one noticed. This is Whack. It's an unusually self-aware company name. We open with production values of a porno and the acting of a lower budget porno.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Ma'am. Sir.
All right, have a seat and we'll get you strapped in.
That's Brink Stevens, one of the queens of late 80s and 90s trash cinema, being forced beyond the brink for acting talent by the directing, or lack thereof. They're testing out the Sexual Hologram Interface Terminal.
The Sexual Hologram Interface Terminal.
A shit acronym for a device that stimulates the libido of the person using it and projects their thoughts onto a screen.
Any questions?
Will I get a Woody, sir?
That eye roll was honed by many interactions with fans over the years. She roused me with science! Half the budget of this thing probably went on creating a tiny colander for his dick.
Okay, soldier. Let's see what goes on in that army brat brain of yours.
As soon as you get out of the way of the camera, Dolly. Thank you.
Private Lebo, I want to commend you on your bravery for volunteering for this experiment.
Would it be churlish to suggest that this is how the film was made?
You horny little bastard.
Don't know why she's fucked off. That looks like it's the most thoughts he's had in years. I'd be pissed off that he's not even picturing me naked. In fact, his whole sexual imagination seems to be a bit Mormon.
I almost forgot. My best friend Buffy wanted to help me walk me home. I hope you don't mind.
God, men are such pigs.
This woman doing this job might be the worst career choice since Gilles de Rais decided to pack in being a French national hero and instead become a nightlight after they found out he'd eaten all those kids. And apparently, in some films, this is enough to count as a prologue. Group 11 Entertainment presents.
Okay, but how many people returned it?
The magic of the CGI toilet rudely gets interrupted by the title. And after that, Nintendo 64's answer to Tanya from Command & Conquer Red Alert just starts murdering the credits. And after she's lulled them into a false sense of sex security, the audience.
This is still not the weirdest porno I've ever seen.
Anyway, as the film begins proper, we follow a car containing a pissed off looking colonel. Pissed off, no doubt, because his close-up was filmed in a stocked car, so it'll take him forever to get where he's going. Dad, can we stop at the secret Russian spy post?
No.
U.S. Military Research Facility. Location, near the secret Russian spy post.
I'm here to see Kildare!
You can't just barge in here like that. You don't have an appointment.
My decibels are my appointment.
Gentlemen, Dr. Kildare may be accused of treason if he can't explain this and now!
Hey, I'm confused by American newspaper rapping too, but I don't take it out on random scientists.
Well, actually, I grew up playing the video game, and it's done to make paperboys that much more easy to kill.
Oh.
Actually, it's the headline he's a problem with. You see, stupid loud Americans haven't changed much in the last 25 years. Even down to not hitting tables.
Treason, Colonel?
I heard you from outside the bomb shelter and up 5 flights of stairs. We should really find a way to weaponize your voice.
Treason, Colonel?
Treason, Colonel? Is it treason to stare intently at an empty kebab spitting monologue?
Law me.
Look at that imposing stance and leathery face. Did he play Jason Voorhees or something? Now, this is the star of Harpoon, the Reykjavik whale-watching massacre, Gunnar Hansen, demonstrating why most of his earlier monologues were done in shrieks and random yelping.
I give you a device that may change modern warfare and alter the future of man's struggle to coexist in a world.
Are you sure?
Lomi.
How did my secret weapons project turn into be front page news?
Why don't I have an indoor voice?
Did you leak this? Are you insane? I could be court-martialed!
So, what's the full-throated colonel, called Sanders, naturally, upset about? Well, Alligator Woman. But that's not important right now. They have yet more time to burn before we get to the story proper. You know, this place is literally the height of 1960s comic book science.
Got the idea for these from an ad in a comic book.
And just not cool enough to be influenced by They Live.
Miss Crocker, could you come in here for a moment?
I'll be right there.
Yes, Dr. Kildare.
This movie's awesome and all, but it needs something. Swirly things.
Colonel Sanders is here to discuss the Replicator project.
And more nudity.
They have tried too much. They have explored too far. Decadence is their fate.
X-ray specs. I've been trying to perfect them for years.
All the other ways to give people eyeball cancer just weren't sexy enough.
So, what do you think?
Sweet mother of God, I can't believe it!
That's amazing! She wasn't just naked, but already censored for YouTube!
Of course, there will be some military application to this, won't there?
Well, it'll be able to cripple whole rival nations' vital femboy reserves, or make them even more dangerous. Anyway, eventually the Colonel's had enough of this prologue, and demands to know about the main body of the film.
Now what about the Replicator, Doctor?
Well, it's located inside a PS2 game, inside a flashback, inside what I think is another flashback, which is insane.
For God's sakes, what's going on?
Hey, don't bring me into it. I don't fucking know.
Anyway, as the film begins proper, again, a completely different set of military guys have visited a completely different secret base containing a completely different bearded guy who went to the Peter Venkman School of Science with a major in acting like a game show host.
Hope I'm not too late for the show, Dr. Oliver. Stan, I won't get in the way at all. I'll just be a fly on the wall, watching as your experiment falls flat on its face.
I protest this strongly.
If you already know what happens in this film, then your eyes might have been drawn to the pink triangles in the door, a joke so subtle and clever that it has to be an accident. There's two main projects going on in this base. Dr. Oliver, played by writer Keith Jorns, and Dr. Comedically Hardy on the Eyes have been working a teleporter.
You ever watch Star Trek?
Yeah.
Transporter.
Gotcha.
With special emphasis on the trans. Well, Dr. Beardy, the Venkman, has been working on mind control.
She will be the virgin of the eternal spring who has loved me all of her life.
This man has been found guilty of rape.
Is it possible that these two projects will collide and create an army of nigh invincible, horny alligator women?
Well, when you ask a question like that, the answer is probably always going to be yes.
Well, then maybe I should ask the questions differently. And when bitten by those horny alligator women, will people turn into gay zombies?
The answer's still yes.
I've read your essay on antimatter conversion and dino-nuclear diffusion.
I've read your essay on neo-micro synapse distortion in frog brains.
Well, I read both your papers on the use of Star Trek Voyager level technobabble in mid to late 96 comedies. It was even less horny than the show. You know, it's a brave move, constructing a set almost entirely to leftover Games Workshop packaging, but you almost pulled it off. Anyway, how does this teleporter work? Very well. Oh ha 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 ha.
That's what we've come to find out.
The average convergence of the main power transformers creates a unique juxtaposition of the jerked mill, aggravating the sliding wolf omega and bringing the cyclonic convergence together. This releases a carbon monocyclic imaging matter to compose.
You know, fair play to her. She's delivering that crap better than most of the other actors can say the regular lines.
reassembles the broken strands with interferon stabilizer into the optical hybrid. And that, as they say, is that.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
He is really fucking glad that she wasn't the actor who dropped out at the last minute. She's not even in lingerie yet. You know, in many ways, this film is basically a porno uninterrupted by sex.
Well, except for the bits with sex, obviously.
It is here, General Mills, that I'll be able to totally control the forces of the Repligator.
Don't you mean transporter?
It's much harder to turn transporter into an alligator pun.
Whatever.
They're on the cusp of human trials, so the subject is going to be this guy, who's on the cusp of being human.
This is Private Bruno Waring of the 105th Artillery Command out of Fort Sill.
He also seems to be an anthropomorphic erection, though I think that might be important to the theme of the film.
Really?
He's the clear choice for the job because he's already been teleported in from the Pacific Theater in 1943.
It's here that you'll be fluxed.
Does this have anything to do with a mortal risk thing?
Nah, Flux is far from the most dangerous series of Doctor Who.
We're at peak load, Dr. Oliver.
Flux him, Dr. Hardy.
Holy shit! Where's Private Waring?
It's flying over our heads in a million pieces.
Private Waring? Is that you?
No, it's Fog Monster. You somehow turned him into a woman. Not as Private Waring, which makes a little more sense.
Yes, sir.
You know the old saying, you can't make a horny alligator woman omelet without first creating some eggs.
That's a fucking triple meaning for eggs there. If I was playing Scrabble, I would be fucking crushing it. Because I don't know how to play Scrabble, and I'd kill anyone who tries to correct me.
Well, Dr. Oliver. What can I say?
You could congratulate him on creating a machine that turns dog tags into makeup. That's gotta be worth a Nobel Prize or 12. It really is an incredible machine. It's so powerful it gave reality beer goggles.
They go in men and they come out women. Are you trying to tell me you never bothered to check that?
We experimented on lab rats. You want me to get you a lab rat? Watson, get me a lab rat. You tell me if it's a boy or girl.
One easy trick to change sex. TERFs hate him.
Do you realize that the Pentagon has spent over $300 million on this project?
Typical transphobic hyperbole but the cost of transition. It rarely goes over $250 million, and those tits will be cheap at twice the price. Anyway, Dr. Oliver points out that he technically did what he set it to do. He can send platoons of soldiers behind enemy lines using the Repligator.
Except once they get there, they turn into bimbos!
Well, yes, that is an added bonus. He's adjusting me here. Does he look really pissed off that the scene's finished?
General Mills, I think you should stop in and take a look at my experiments.
My experiments are somehow even sillier.
Mistress, do you still need a lab rat? I got a free-range one.
No, Watson, that was the movie.
Oh, I thought you sounded weird.
Weird how?
Well, you suddenly sounded less like a man.
I just thought of something you could do with that lab rat. Put it in a flask, attach it to your abdomen, seal your anus, and eat a bunch of cheese.
Well, that doesn't sound too complicated. Come on, Squeaky.
It'll be elementary, my dear Watson.
This isn't so bad. It actually tickles with these cute little paws and little grabbies and ow, he's biting. Ow!
Well, was he mad?
I just turned a fully trained Special Forces commando into a beach bunny.
Just call it a promotion to top brass and hope they're all really stupid.
Something ain't right here.
Well, drinking that won't help.
Can't hurt.
Always good to see a writer's process in the film itself.
Then again.
Outside, the generalist threatened to destroy the career of his underling for the crime of not being in charge.
You heard me. Shit rolls downhill and you don't have a pair of boots tall enough to remain in the clear.
He wants the lab closed down and all evidence of this embarrassment destroyed. Up to and including the screensaver the lab's trapped inside, I assume. This is Dr. Beardy's mind control research. It involves a bunch of broken TVs, a stack of boxes, a sex worker, and what I think was originally supposed to be a Jeffrey Combs cameo. I mean, the characters called Dr. West, and Combs was literally one of the stars of Time Tracers.
Oh my god.
But he's really more of a Lewis Tully.
In just a moment, she'll no longer be a woman of the night. She'll be the girl next door. She will be the virgin of the eternal spring who has loved me all of her life.
Though I'm pretty sure that using a sex worker for the mind control experiments will fuck up the results a tad. I mean, she's a sex worker. Given her line of work, there is a chance that she'll go along with whatever weird shit you come up with as long as she's paid.
Darling?
That music just sounds like an escape from Final Fantasy VII.
Oh my god. It works!
Where's my $50?
You see, science is powerful, but it quite rightly pales in comparison to fuck you, pay me. Anyway, Private Waring wants a one-on-one meeting with Dr. Oliver to discuss their new situation.
Well, how do you feel?
I mean, I'm not one of those guys who likes to take warm showers with other guys, you know. But what I'm trying to say is that...
Now, I don't want to sound like a queer or nothing, but I'd kind of like to make love to you tonight.
Private Waring, let me ask you a question.
Anything, Doc.
Have you noticed any particular changes in your body language?
Apart from the machine removing their sense of military decorum? Not really. This scene is kind of magnificent. I love Dr. Oliver's flustered ad-libbing.
Well, I think we can forget about the mortal risk thing.
And how the woman playing Waring is in danger of eating him up alongside the scenery.
I'm still the same horny rascal I was before I joined the army.
No, you're not.
It's good to be the writer.
Dr. Oliver!
Dr. Hardy, I'm glad you're here. We need to run the blood tests. It's very important. The blood tests on Private Waring here, and
if you need, I'll be in my bunk. Meanwhile, Dr. Beard is explaining his mind control experiments to the highest ranked soldiers still at the lab, and therefore still shackled to all this nonsense.
Think of it. Input these instructions directly into their brains. They become your slave.
Your experiments haven't exactly been bringing the house down, Dr. Fields.
Yeah, but that's because you won't let me use LSD. In the 70s, they let us use LSD. You didn't even need to get results. You just wrote down what you saw and hoped everyone else was as high as you were. Now that was real peer review. One fun element to this to look out for is just how often things don't quite line up. Like the TVs when they cut to his close-up, or whatever the fuck is going on with the 180-degree rule in this scene. It gives the film a unique feel, like it was filmed so fast it distorts space-time.
As the general said, you've got a problem. I'm your solution.
How so?
Dr. Beardy wants to be put in charge of the Repligator project. He believes that his project that doesn't work could be merged with Dr. Oliver's project that technically works, but there's a big-titted asterisk, and together they work perfectly.
Of course, Dr. Oliver mixes a person into a genetic soup. All I have to do is to mix in my own secret sauce.
Please don't ejaculate into the disembodied people. They can't defend themselves.
You know what this is? Ed Wood's entire career stacked in a trench coat pretending to be a film. Anyway, Dr. Beardy convinced him to go along with the scheme by saying the magic words.
Who's to say if we put her back in the replicator, she won't come out the other side a man?
I hadn't thought of that.
Mind control? Oh, for God's sakes, the FBI, CIA, and Amway have been trying that for years. It's never worked.
Also, Doctor, how many more times can you turn to the wall just so you can dramatically turn to face me during this story? Choose a direction and face it, damn it!
A few years ago, we targeted a group of low-intelligence Americans with an early mind control radio frequency. The result? The Macarena.
Netflix tried that a few years ago. They called it Tiger King.
We have limited budget for these kind of projects. Were there any other secret activities going on at Oliver's facility?
Well, there was a steakhouse, but it pulled a minor profit.
It was called the Sexual Hologram Interface Terminal.
Oh, he already had this drawn up. He's practiced this conversation! I figured it was just bad acting, but this really explains his dramatic staging.
Private Lebo, I want to commend you on your bravery for volunteering for this experiment.
Oh, fuck, the film's lapped itself. I knew it was slow, but jeez.
Gotta love it when a film straight up pads its length by reusing minutes of footage. If you don't want to see me do the exact same thing, I suggest you go to this time code.
Any questions?
Will I get a Woody, sir?
That eye roll was honed by many interactions with fans over the years. She roused me with science. However, the budget of this thing probably went in creating a tiny colander for his dick.
Okay, soldier. Let's see what goes on in that army brat brain of yours.
As soon as you get out of the way of the camera, Dolly. Thank you.
Private Levo, I want to commend you on your bravery for volunteering for this experiment.
Would it be churlish to suggest that this is how the film was made?
You horny little bastard.
Don't know why she's fucked off. That looks like it's the most thoughts he's had in years. I'd be pissed off that he's not even picturing me naked. In fact, his whole sexual imagination seems to be a bit Mormon.
I almost forgot. My best friend Buffy wanted to help me welcome me home. I hope you don't mind.
God, men are such pigs.
What? I already put more effort into this than the film did. I'm not gonna come up with new jokes too.
How does this tie into the Repligator, Kildare?
It doesn't. I'm just trying to bring the film to its contracted length. Fun fact, but when Astron's 6-sold Manborg for release, they apparently had to add a bunch of minutes to its length. So they made the credits as long as possible, but were still minutes short. So they made the fake trailer for Biocop to put at the end, which managed to double the total budget.
I'm just trying to fill in the big picture. It may help you to understand how the Replicator project ended up the way it did. We had a lot of irons in the fire.
And you used them to give each other ice pick lobotomies? Anyway, back to the film proper. Again. And it appears that Dr. Beardy doesn't know what a television is.
Clear these machines, man. I've got to run a new program.
But sir, those are TVs.
Did I ask you for excuses? Did I ask you for complaints, man? Did I?
Well, okay, but if I miss Xena Warrior Princess, I'm gonna be awfully miffed.
Nothing will stop me. Do you understand?
Well, yes, sir.
Then get to work.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're laughing evilly for no reason again. Am I gonna miss Xena?
Are you kidding? That idiot!
Your replicator is a failure, Dr. Oliver. Maybe parts of it work, but I need a whole solution.
Try using women soldiers. Or expand into the beauty business.
I hate to break the news to you, but the military establishment doesn't really have a practical use for an assault force made up of genetically altered women with large breasts.
Shows how unimaginative the military is then.
Are you kidding? The invasion of Normandy would have been a snap. 50,000 blondes charging the beach in bikinis with beer. We could have shortened that war by 2 years. We're onto something here, Colonel.
Yeah, but only because Germans would be so incensed that American beer was on their continent that they stage a counterattack and be in Washington by Christmas.
Private Waring will be run back through the machine with Dr. Fields in charge of the operation. Maybe we'll get lucky and she'll come back a man.
That's not going to happen. Dr. Hardy and I have figured out what went wrong. We can fix it.
God damn it, scientist! I need it fixed! I don't have time to waste on you fixing it!
I haven't got time to fix it. My ass is on the line here.
And in case you think I'm messing with the editing for comedic effect, nah, that's the exact order those lines happen, back to back.
We can fix it.
I haven't got time to fix it. My ass is on the line here.
Listen, Doctor, we can worry about all your bleeding heart, airy-fairy ideas about fixing it once it's fixed, okay? But to be fair, this is probably one of the most realistic exchanges I've ever seen involving authority. Anyway, on to Private Waring, still adjusting but doing okay. Assuming they ever get turned back, they should really think about giving Drag a go, because they're taken to spilling the tea like an English person who fucking hates stereotypes.
I could really use some color, especially around these cheeks. You could use some yourself, huh, Doc?
I beg your pardon.
And that wood tick on your face.
That is a beauty mark.
Not on you. So I went in looking like Bigfoot, came out looking like Barbie. Maybe you should take a trip to the machine yourself, huh, Doc?
Dr. Oliver. Here to assist, I see.
Now, you might think that some of the sets in this look like they've been desperately cobbled together from pieces of even lower budget sci-fi films, but you'd be wrong. They look like they were cobbled together from more expensive sci-fi films.
That might sound weird, but I'd remind you that this film had almost literally no budget.
Well, I suppose I should ask you how all this works.
Nah, if you did that, the results would be less entertaining.
Private Waring, sir.
Hiya, Doc.
Okay, so the plan is to throw Waring back into the machine and run the brainwashing program at the same time, and basically see what happens. Best case scenario, a horny alligator woman. Worst case scenario, they have a burly 40-year-old Marine who's been brainwashed into being a sex kitten. And unfortunately, this film isn't called Privates on Parade.
I can only get better.
Flux her, Dr. Hardy.
It's not done, though, as Dr. Beardy decides to chuck Louis Tullian after her.
Come inside! Billy!
What have you done?
Created the end of Akira, hopefully. The extra people overloaded the system, and you can tell it's serious, because even Fog Monster's intensifying.
Jesus Christ!
We've crashed the whole system.
Oh, fuck, they're being haunted by the end of WandaVision.
Okay, they're running on a backup and everything but the essentials are shut down. And they're trapped in there because no one figured that doors might be essential.
Use the manual override to open those doors.
I can't, sir.
Why not?
It's on the other side of the door.
Oh.
But on the other hand, an automatic message has been sent to base to send backup. So this really is the best possible time for horny alligator women to make their appearance. Unfortunately, / fortunately, we're just gonna have to make do with a horny Dr. Hardy woman for now.
Stanley.
Apparently, everyone who goes through the Repligator is suddenly very into bald, middle-aged fat men who write screenplays for a living. Weird. It's still good to be the writer.
What have you done, Fields?
Go, 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 big fella.
Go, go, gadget waifu.
What did you do? Well, I programmed the replicator with a little extra. Rampant nymphomania.
I do like a man in uniform.
Get a hold of yourself.
As you were a soldier, I'd rather get a hold of you.
Oh shit, it's Lois and Tully, the new adventures of Science Woman.
Dr. West?
I've loved you for so long, Billy.
You're kidding.
Well, that adds all sorts of weird subtext to their angry and abusive earlier scenes.
Wait, he was called Dr. West? And he was a small, Jeffrey Combs-shaped science man with glasses? This film turned Herbert West into a nymphomaniac!
Did you wish really hard for this?
Maybe.
Now what do you suggest?
Stan, you think you may want to trade?
This is ironic comedy.
I know right where we can go.
I'm sure you do.
Colonel, don't be a fool. We have no idea what the side effects are.
Yeah, like STDs, but with the S squared. The two technicians, who are so unimportant that they barely have names, look pretty disappointed to be left out. When the machine's working again, one of them should really jump in. Anyway, Dr. Oliver comes up with a plan to get out of this mess without fucking his brainwashed nymphomaniac co-worker.
You are my slave.
Yes, Stanley.
You will do as I say.
Oh, you name it, you got it.
Fix it.
Truly the best example of a noble dom until a book-based YouTuber.
What I love about this film is the diversity in performances. There's people trying to take it seriously, people who don't give a shit, people who are possibly direct while high, people with the acting ability of a potato but are trying their best, and one guy really should have gone into acting.
You guys need to go make sure the main power gets turned back on.
Darn, what's happening here?
I don't know, just get the power turned back on.
Looks like they just kind of forgot that the doors in the lab were sealed, but that's okay, there's bigger things to deal with now. Like Dr. Beardy's self-inflicted trans panic.
But the one she loves. In this case, Dr. West loves you.
Please don't remind me.
Oh, man.
Not anymore. I'm a fighting soldier who just happens to be a woman. You're not gonna hold that against me, are you?
They'll hold what against you?
What you got?
Meanwhile, Waring and this guy are about to hit the threshold of desire. And she didn't even need to travel at Warp 10 to do it. This was a Fiction Mania movie, but the plot's just been hijacked by Bad Dragon.
What the hell is that?
That's Private Waring, and she just killed Colonel Sargent.
Now she wants us.
Oh my God!
Yeah!
Look at all those boxes. I didn't know they filmed this in a Mar-a-Lago toilet. Though it kind of makes sense.
Anyway, Dr. Oliver has a theory about what the fuck just happened.
That's it. The replicator stretched her DNA again, this time stretching out more genetic code. She went all the way back to pre-human influences.
Wait a minute, I thought we descended from apes or something.
You are a poor scientist.
Don't run, you fools! Her libido is based on movement!
Now I knew a girl like that.
Lucky?
No.
Explain why she's a walking alligator right now.
I blame you for that.
Me?
Yeah, when you programmed her with rampant nymphomania, you created a sex-charged object of desire. She experienced a prehistoric orgasm which stretched her genetic code, creating the creature we now have to deal with. Gator Babe.
Gator Babe.
It could happen.
'Cause it did. The two technicians have been sent in to turn the main power back on, and the breakers are located in a service corridor, which is located in a storage room, behind whatever this is and under a shelf. Clearly, they did a bunch of off-screen research into non-Euclidean geometry.
It's about time.
You got the key?
What key?
The key to open up this thing.
I didn't bring a key. I didn't know it needed a key.
Maybe ask the cameraman to go get it for you. I mean, based on this shot of you getting into the service corridor, you must be standing somewhere in the main room.
So how am I supposed to open this thing and get the power back on?
Be my guest.
Random planks of wood. Is there anything they can't do?
Power's back on.
Yes, here comes Gator Babe. Secure this building!
Oh yes, a general's natural habitat, leading a minion commando squad.
Minion, what have I told you about attacking the film? That's my job!
Sorry, mistress. Should we come back?
Nah, you started, you might as well finish.
Well, I'm on my 15-minute break now.
Anyway, Waring gets inside the lab and is after Beardy. Good thing that A, they whipped up a portable version of the replicator when they were repairing the main machine, and B, the Lois Tully's not gonna let any stinking Carnosaur steal her man.
Hey, ugly.
My God, what happened?
It's in the replicator. What was that thing?
It's Private Waring. After sex.
I'm just gonna let that amazing line hang there for a bit. And then say that, yeah, she did seem like a bit of a man-eater in her earlier scenes.
Everybody stop! I'm here to get abreast of this situation.
Have two, General. Count 4.
He'll have A to make a sequel, Boobtopus.
No! Wait!
Oh no! If only I remembered that we also have guns! So the brainwashing wore off on its own, and Lois and Hardy are a bit fucked off with everything.
You weasel, you never loved me. I know how she feels, Stanley.
Understandable, really. That room looks really drafty. Anyway, to make matters worse, / better, depending on how much you're enjoying this nonsense, the soldiers are being teleported randomly into the base.
Apparently we wired something backwards.
Yes, and they're having spontaneous orgasms.
Just like Gerald Ford.
And now, Dr. Beardy's grabbed the portable replicator.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. Yeah, like I give a shit. Now it's your turn, Stan. See you in 5, Dr. Oliver. Oh, shit.
I am not going back in there.
I'll do it. You just stay here in case anything happens.
Whoa, what do I do if anything happens?
Die, or become an alligator. Anyway, Doctors Oliver and Hardy have retreated to his office, but the brainwashing unwore off.
Oh, Stanley.
Oh, we do not have time for this right now. You will obey my every command.
Yes.
You do not love me. You hate me.
They only did one take of the scene because Keith Jorns, who played Dr. Oliver, really threw himself into the role. And fractured his shoulder in his first attempt.
Stop!
But as the old saying doesn't go, but I'm pretending, turnabout's fair play in love, war, and when under siege by gator babes.
You always are talking to me like—
Shut up and leave me alone! Dr. Hardy, are you okay?
Anyway, the medical head trauma seems to have done the trick. She's back to her old self. Mentally, anyway.
What's going on?
You were under my control right up to the moment you bumped your head. But I think you may have accidentally given us an answer to the problem with the replicator.
How do you mean?
He's gonna smack people in the head until they stop being alligators. It's like Autism Speaks, but for alligators.
Now, I think she can reconstruct everyone's original genetic code through a mix of genetic memory and only pressing the same 3 buttons on the keyboard over and over. But we have about 20 minutes left, so it's time to bring in the gay zombie.
God, what else could go wrong?
He's dead.
He was dead. Apparently the bite from a gator babe produces a zombie-like trance.
What does he want?
Stanley.
He's trying to communicate.
The gator babe's prehistoric orgasm caused the rampant nymphomania and obsession with men to be transferred via saliva. So once the victim had died, it takes over the body's biofunctions, turning them into a zombie powered by raw desire for man, resulting in the creature we now have to deal with. The Flesh Eater. Man Flesh Eater.
It could happen.
Because it did happen.
Colonel Sargent, what do you want? Well, maybe you should ask him.
Ask him what?
Dr. Oliver is probably the greatest sex symbol in film history. I mean, how many other people have the dead coming back and changing their sexuality in order to try and fuck them?
I can think of one, mistress.
Apart from me!
Oh, Jeffrey Combs?
Good answer. I would also have accepted Crawford Tillinghast, Dr. Vanikit, and Shran.
Are they on Tinder?
Oh, fuck, I hope so.
This is the ideal male body. You might not like it, but clearly this is what peak performance looks like.
Stanley.
Look, I'm sorry everybody wants to have sex with me. Okay, I can't help that. Newsflash, you know, I'm hot. Everybody wants to get with this. Women, men, animals in the zoo, plants probably.
It's good to be the writer. Or is it? Well, that's probably another one cured.
Well, what are we supposed to do now?
I can install this into the Repligator. With this, we can set everything back to normal.
Stanley, I'm so scared.
It's all right, get it? No.
Stanley.
Great.
See you later, Repligator. In a while, Androphile. So while all this has been going on, Dr. Beardy's been under siege by the vast majority of the Gators. Luckily for him, there's still a working mobile replicator, complete with brainwashing.
Alright, Gator Babes.
Which he intends to use to conquer the world!
Your replicator and my brainwashing, I'm going to take over the world!
Nothing in the world can stop me now!
Nothing can stop me!
Honestly, I think he's thinking too small. He could use that to take over the scaly community.
Your brainwashing is only as good as the brains that hold it.
Speak softly and carry a big stack. Walking tall with a 2x4. I really think they Haxagym dug him. Anyway, Dr. Oliver finds Lois Tully.
Dr. West, are you okay?
Compared to what?
It's a good thing, too. He apparently needs her to insert the disc with his Curonat.
I'm not putting any more brainwashing stuff anywhere in any machine for anybody.
I think I've discovered the process whereby I can turn you back into a man.
I don't want to be a man.
Holy fuck, this just turned into a one-topic video about egg IRL. IRL meaning in Repligator.
I've been a woman trapped in a man's body for a long time. I'm free now.
I like how she specified for a long time, as though she picked it up one day as a hobby.
Help me set everything straight. And when it's over, I'll turn you back into a woman.
Anyway, she looks doubtful, so he brings up the next hot transphobic argument decades before Matt Walsh tweets it out.
If you don't do this, the next time you have sex, you'll turn into an alligator.
Woman or not, she really doesn't want to be Joan Rivers, so she agrees to go along with them.
Did you and Dr. Hardy really build this thing that fast?
Yeah, cow inseminators usually take hours to make at least. Anyway, she'll soon have that disc installed, but until then, Dr. Oliver has to keep the gators at babe.
Well, Stan, looks like it's just you and me.
And your harem of gator babes. Unfortunately, all Dr. Oliver can do is send them literally around the corner to Dr. Beardy, who sends them right back, so he suddenly buys him a few seconds.
Do you want Godzilla? Because this is how you get Godzilla.
I thought you were dead!
Dr. Beals.
Shoot him! I'm going to take over the world!
If there's any justice, he's going to end up as an actual alligator living in a zoo. But there is no justice. There's only Repligator. And it is sometimes awesome.
Dr. Oliver, do you promise to turn me into a woman once I become a man again?
Of course I do. You have my word.
Good luck.
I would love to explain what the fuck's going on here, but I have no idea. But that's fine, because it's apparently working.
It's working! It's working!
Einstein's goal was to create the perfect laser. You mean? Yes. The green laser. Only he can harness its absolute power. What the hell?
Everyone out!
We all know that absolute laser corrupts absolutely.
Oh my God, Stan, what have you done?
Serves you right, you dog.
I'm a little busy right now. Get out of here!
I'm doing so much science, it's bringing down the house! Okay, at some point, you're just gonna turn the wall into alligators.
Or explosions. Weirdly horny explosions.
You see, you didn't need these green lasers to defeat Einstein's ghost. You had everything you needed right here. In these green lasers.
A few weeks later, Dr. Oliver meets up with a general. They've decided that the best way to keep an exploding building out of the press is to pay Dr. Oliver a fuckload of cash for his silence.
Morning, General. Is that supposed to be some kind of disguise?
To be fair, that is some kind of disguise. Besides, he's apparently the world's sexiest man. This is him trying to dress like it.
Are you kidding? You ought to see my underwear.
And with that, Dr. Oliver now has more money than the budget. Off to start his new life of revolutionizing the plastic surgery industry by offering door-to-door GRS. And his first patients, Tully and the beardless Dr. Bearday.
You still up for this?
Are you serious?
Strip.
A large man going to someone's house and ordering them to strip at gunpoint has never been so wholesome. I love the extension cord, a very extension cord, unless he's got a supercomputer and a small fission reactor in his car. Oh wait, he does. That tracks.
You talk too much.
Oh, sure, you made him a promise and me, you turned into a woman.
They actually explain why Dr. Beardy was the only one who wasn't turned back. The Cure used the brainwashing program and he put a failsafe in it so the program wouldn't work on himself. So he couldn't be brainwashed and wasn't cured.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for saving my life. I can assure you that...
Oh, shut up.
For any pain and suffering that I may have caused it.
Kinda sad that Beardy was cured, to be honest. But not turning him back would just devalue lesbianism. On to his next patient, Dr. Hardy, hiding out from the military in the large building that she apparently owns.
Oh, by the way, did you ever find Dr. Laurel Hardy? It's been over 3.5 months now. No. Hi, honey. I'm home.
I never really mentioned it, but I think about a third of the film's effort went into the character names. For instance, there's Dr. Laurel Hardy, Dr. Stanley Oliver, General Mills, Colonel Sargent, Colonel Sanders, Dr. Kildare, and Dr. Goodbody.
After coming up with all those, it's no wonder that the big finale was just film a bunch of alligators and lasers and things that make no sense happening all at once and hope that it works out in editing. Da 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 da. After all, you're not going to be acting in it, are you? Why am I still typing? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no! Well, at least I'll be a sex symbol if I'm acting in it.
That has gotta be the most complicated way ever devised to strip someone. Anyway, he's the Santa Claus of sexy science, and he's bringing her the body of a Baywatch character. regretfully not David Hasselhoff, and a teddy that he desperately hopes doesn't fit her.
Stanley?
Shit, it stayed on.
This is on Inside Out.
Yeah, well, still needs a little work.
I'm not gonna turn into an alligator, am I?
No, but it might turn you into a cougar. It'll just take a few years.
Shut up.
And with that, the main story ends. All that's left is for Gunnar Hansen and the Colonel to get into a fight, blast each other with the Repligator, and decide to fuck.
Let's go!
I just love happy endings. Yeah.
Okay, it's a little more complicated than that. Turns out that Gunnar Hansen's been slowly taking over the military by turning soldiers into models, porn stars, and actresses in low-budget sex comedies called Repligator.
Tits. The average American soldier's two biggest weaknesses.
But why change men into women? They're already women in the armed forces.
Like this? Ha! Besides, replicator women are different. They retain their male aggression. They're just issued new equipment to work with.
I can't let you get away with this.
Well, Doctor, you're kind of cute there. Not that I'm gay or anything.
Well, I hope military Alex Jones and WWE Jordan Peterson are going to be very happy together. If they want to be cured, I hope Dr. Kildare can do science with his feet, because his hands and face are going to be very busy for the foreseeable future.
Let's go!
This film is a riot. Don't get me wrong, it's about 15 minutes too long, and we really didn't need to see the homemade computer porn scene even the once. But it's silly, occasionally witty, and it's a sort of ridiculous charm that only really comes with orgasming Alligator Woman. The acting is variable in both quality and enthusiasm. The directing is sparse, but mostly functional. The script is knowingly silly, and for a film about horny alligator women, gay stereotype zombies, and random sex changes, it is surprisingly pro-queer for 1997.
Help me set everything straight, and when it's over, I'll turn you back into a woman.
I mean, Dr. Oliver doesn't even flinch when he finds out that West is trans. He's more weirded out that she loves Dr. Bearday.
You still want her?
I love him.
That answers that question.
But that's him being a good guy, because Dr. Beardy's a dick. Her loving him is a bit of a question mark in this. She loves Dr. Beardy, but that love is only expressed when she's been zapped by the Replicator.
Serves you right, you dog!
And Dr. Hardy's love for Dr. Oliver is the same. It never comes up when she's unzapped. I don't think this was the intention, but I think the brainwashing worked better than they like to admit. I mean, maybe Gunnar Hansen and the shouty Colonel gravitated towards each other because they had authority in common.
When the power comes back on, I'll be able to install my new program.
What was in the old one?
Total subjugation to the dominant male with rampant nymphomania thrown in just to keep it interesting.
Like I said, I don't think any of that was the intention, though. Any film that goes from batshit premise to filmed in a week is bound to have that kind of issue. Anyway, this is a fun film, but with a second draft or another week's filming, it might have been more. Kinda good. In parts, there's a much better film buried in here, clawing to get out.
What's going on?
Laurel,
You haven't called me that in a long time, Stanley.
do you know what has happened here?
We went through the replicator. I went in and we have problems, don't we?
Very much.
While working on this, I discovered Keith Jordan's amazing post-Repligator writing career, scripting Thug Life, Survival of the Illest, My Big Fat Hip-Hop Family, and Treasure in the Hood. Apparently, no one was more street than Big Keith.
It could happen.
Actually, this kind of makes sense. Dr. Oliver was a flashy dresser, apparently sexually irresistible, could bust at epic wordplay at the drop of a hat.
You created a sex-charged object of desire. She experienced a prehistoric orgasm which stretched her genetic code, creating the creature we now have to deal with. Gator Babe.
Had beef with a rival, got into a gunfight with said rival, shot said rival, exponentially increased the amount of hot women around, and beat the woman closest to him.
Dr. Hardy, are you okay?
If he did drugs, he'd be a gestalt of every famous rapper in the last 30 years.
It could happen.
Anyway, if you want a good movie for a bad movie night, then give this a go. Just be ready to fast forward if you get bored.
I'm Amanda Hagan. I have to live with it every day.
Put pedal down right